Hi, Hiram here. The other day I did a video that I called the Q&D test on a backpacking wood gas stove. This one. I had said that if there was an interest I'd go more into detail, show how I made it and what I was trying to do there. For people that have watched my videos, they've seen me make wood gas stoves over the years. This is my first one that I made. Just punched some holes in the bottom of the can. Had a burning chamber in here. It worked alright. You know, kept on going from there. Different versions. Then I made my easier gas stoves where I just cut out the bottom and I put a soup can up in here. Works the same way. They're all basically what they call batch loaded, inverted, downdraft gasifiers. Most people just call them wood gas stoves. The whole idea is, but then, you know, this was another one that I made with a wire top. You'd stick your wood down in there. I've even made what I would call a forge. This has a fan in it, sucks the air up and blows it into the chamber, which makes the wood burn a whole lot better. Basically, the idea behind these, let's see if I can find one. This one, let's say, the air would come up through, it gets sucked up in, get heated up on the inside of the stove, pull the wood gas from the, you can look on the internet and find all kinds of good explanations and stuff, but basically, as the fire burns on the top, it gasifies the wood down in. So by heating up this area, it sucks air up, sucks the wood gas up, and back in through these holes, and then you see burning jets in there. That's a very simplified version of it. But it's batch loaded. You just fill it once and then let it burn down. I've used these, but they're kind of big and bulky. I thought there must be an easier way to go about doing this, a little bit smaller. And that's what I did with this. I always save my, well, not all the cans, but a lot of the cans that I use, soup and whatnot, I save them, but I stack them inside each other for storage to try to save space. And I happened to notice that the Campbell soup can with the pop lid and El Del Monte sliced pears or whatever other fruit you wanted, their fruit can, which is also a pop top lid, when you put them in together, they fit real nice and neat in there and form a seal. So I thought, and that's what that other video was, it was just what I call my Q&D, a quick and dirty test. I just took the can, drilled some large holes along the bottom. I don't know, can you see them there? It's kind of large holes there. And in this one, I just punched holes in the bottom of the soup can and punched holes on the top. I think that was a mistake. Like I said, these are very easy to make. I just used a hole punch, a center punch. This is a spring activated one. You just push it against and it punches a hole through. So I made holes here, and then you just fit them together. So as it heats up, the air gets sucked in here, up through the inside, pulling wood gas with it, I hoped, and out through the jets. And that's what you saw in that video. If I can remember what went on in there. It started because I had this for a pot stand. It's just an angle iron that I pinched together, had that on the top, and then had a pot on there. But as it started heating up the water, smoke started forming. And because it was raining, very wet, windy out yesterday, it didn't soot up the bottom of the pot, but it made like a sticky, very woody smelling, smoky smelling gunk. And that's what I was showing when I turned the pot up, that it wasn't sooting, but that it was gunking it up. So then I took it off, took the pot off, and just let it burn. Now this had started burning. There was 3/4 cup of wood pellets in it, in the stove. And it was burning for 2 minutes, and then I put the timer there, and you saw the time from there on. Well, the wood pellets, the 3/4 cup, ran out at about 15 minutes. And then from there on, it was just the charcoal that was left was burning. So all told, that 3/4 cup of wood pellets, just your basic wood stove wood pellets, burned for like, what, 17 minutes, which I thought was pretty good. But it didn't really give me all of the action on the top like what I wanted. So I went and made another setup, and I'll try to take it out later in the dark and see if I can see the jets on it. But again, it's a fairly easy thing to do. I just cut off the bottom, because instead of using this angle iron, which I don't think is tall enough, I made a small wire cage, and that fits up in here underneath for storage. But it's basically, again, the two cans, the Froup can and the Campbell's soup can. But this time, instead of punching holes in the bottom, I punched holes up on the side. These are about, what was it, 3/16 of an inch. I drilled holes there, and 3/16 of an inch diameter holes across the top. Not any on the bottom this time. So that's just an easy thing that you can do with a drill. To make it for a little bit neater in appearance, I used a hole punch for these holes on the bottom. They're 7/16 of an inch in diameter. That was just with a basic metal punch thing. Got this at Harbor Freight a couple of years ago. So this is the second version of this, and I think what the name I'm going to use for this is a Froup stove. FR for fruit, the fruit can, and OOP for the soup can. So when you put them together, I'm going to call this a Froup stove. I know it's getting kind of stupid, but you come up with names. So then just have the cage that goes on the top, and this needs to be formed a little bit better. It keeps wanting to pop out, but with weight on there, and once heat is applied, it'll learn to stay in position, just like that. So I have here, what was this, 150 grams of wood pellets. And basically what happens is you want to fill this up, but you want, can you see that there? You want the fuel that you use to be not higher than these holes. You want it a little bit lower. So this is 150 grams, or 5.25 ounces, or 0.33 pounds. So when they're in there, see, they don't come up to the height of the holes. Then I'll put some sort of an accelerant on here, either fire starter. You just pour it in there on the top. It takes a little bit of time for this to get started, and then it burns. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I told you this is a batch loaded, what they call a batch loaded, because you pour it all in at one time. Inverted downdraft. The fire's on the top, and the heating on the side of the can sucks air in and sucks wood gas up, so that it should come back out these holes and completely burn. Let's see, anything else? Nope, I think that's about it. I'll do just a burn test on this out in the dark so we can see it. And I'll look forward to your input, your questions, remarks, helpful suggestions, and I appreciate all of the thumbs up that I got for this. I think at last count it was what, like 23 likes and 1 dislike. I'd like to know what the guy didn't like about it, or the person rather. So anyway, I'll go out now and give this a try and we'll see what the flames are like. That'll be in the next video. So, bye now, and watch for my buddy Max.
Know you've been a good friend, and that's in the thick and thin.